बढ़ने के लिए खलीफा ही होना चाहिए, bloodline. So in short, what they meant is that to students, to peoples, to few followers, a gharana can expand, but in order to grow, it requires a descendant, and that is how the system of gharana is there. Now you would think, why this concept is there? Why gharana concept is there? Now the gharana in previous times, in the olden times, people used to protect their individual tradition, individual knowledge. Like for example, I have the knowledge of certain bows and tabla. So I would want to protect that knowledge. And since the teachings were based on Guru Shishya Parampara, and Guru Shishya Parampara is a concept of student living with the Guru, understanding the nuances of his teaching, understanding the nuances of the arts, as well as devoting himself to the Guru, getting grounded, getting disciplined, having a completely holistic approach towards life. So all of this is derived from the concept of Guru Shishya Parampara. So nowadays, with the modern life, this Guru Shishya Parampara, staying at a Guru's place for years and learning the art, being a part of the family, understanding the traditional values, understanding the discipline. All of this is somewhat discontinued, but still there are places where Guru Shishya Parampara is followed in the revised version. People come, people go there, people on weekly basis, students come and learn from the Guru. They understand the art, they understand the musicality, the discipline, they understand the teachings, and they embed these teachings in their daily lives. Not just music, but the teachings of life on whole. So this is part of Guru Shishya Parampara. So previously so now I come back to the concept of Gharana. What people used to do is that they used to be very guarded about their tradition. So they used to teach only their students or the members of their family. This was done to preserve the tradition, to preserve the knowledge. Since the knowledge was passed orally, Guru Mukha Vidya, so the only method of preserving the knowledge was by keeping it closed doors. And that helped in the continuation of tradition, because if it is not closed doors, you may think that this was a little harsh, but I'll be very frank with you. If things are not closed doors, if it is open to the world, then this ideology of certain ideology can be diluted. Like for example, the use of baya in certain tradition can be diluted by the use of certain baya in certain other tradition. That can be mixed, and then the individuality of this tradition will be lost. It will be diluted. It will not remain the way it is. And that is the reason why closed doors teachings were encouraged. And that is how Gharana was formulated. The concept of closed door teaching had helped in preservation of the lineage, preservation of the individual artistic tradition, the composition architecture, and the consistent stylistic artistry. So, this is the reason why these closed door preservations and these closed door teachings have helped in preserving the individuality. If you are special just like everyone else, then you're not special. And if everyone else is different from what you think, what you are, then you're special. You may be good, you may be bad, you may be anything, but what you are is different. And that is the reason why the word different has come into the word come into existence, because different shows that a person can is like is an individual is a master of his thought, and that shows his uniqueness. It could be a bad, whatever it is, but it is his unique identity. Even in marketing, we use this point called USP, unique selling point. What is a person's unique selling point? That is his uniqueness. What is the person of Goldrich's USP? What is USP of Goldrich? What is the uniqueness of Goldrich? Locks are good, locks are solid. What is the uniqueness of KFC? The ingredients, the ginger. What is the uniqueness of uh, certain traditional food? Let's say biryani. What is the uniqueness of dosa? What is the uniqueness of a certain person? What is the uniqueness of that person? So this is the reason why individual uniqueness are so important. These closed door traditions, these closed door gharanas, like if a person is making certain food and his teachings, whatever he's making, he's teaching only a few people who are interested in learning, and he's teaching only those people. That is closed door teaching, and that is his own style. And through ages, it becomes a gharana, provided he has a torchbearer, because his teachings can expand through students, but it can only grow through his torchbearer, through his success. So after 4 generations of his successors, that teaching becomes a gharana. But it has to be close bound, because uniqueness is always close bound. So that is the reason why gharanas were so close bounded. In Indian music, gharana is based on the name of the gharana is based on the province in which this revolutionist had taught. Like, for example, Ustad Sidar Khadai is considered to be the founder of Delhi Gharana. So, Delhi Gharana, Delhi was a place, and this happened during the uh, Mughal period. So, Ustad Sidar Khadai is considered to be um, in the stare of the Mughal period, which is around 16, 15, 16, or 15, 16, 17th century. So part, he was a part of the Mughal dynasty. He was not dynasty, but he was part of the Mughal period. So his art thrived during the Mughal period. And we all know that in order for an art to thrive, an art requires patronage and acceptance. So during the Mughal period, since Mughals were very much were very good patrons of art, They were inclined towards art. They were very good patrons of art. They were inclined towards calligraphy. They a lot of like Mia Townsend, Akbar was his court musicians considered stalwarts, uh, musicians, court musicians. So a lot of he was a person who was who was inclined towards music, and so was his uh, descendants. So Mughal period. That is the reason why Mughal period was a, was the Mughals were a pioneer or great patrons of Indian music in those days, and that is why in Delhi, which was the capital of the Mughal Empire, it thrived. Art thrived in Delhi because the Mughals were inclined towards music and they used to patronize artists. And that is why when Siddharth Khatanji he introduced this new concept in tabla, his art was thrived. His art thrived in Delhi. There were patronage, there was acceptance of his art. And that is why the name of his Gharana after generations, after the passing of 4 generations, the name of the Gharana became Delhi, named after the province that has accepted Ustad Siddharth Khandari's revolutionary thought. In short, for the province that accepted Khasab's school of thought. And that is how the name Delhi Gharana came into existence. Similarly, when stemming out was possible, as I had already discussed, when stemming out was possible, other gharanas, other provinces which accepted that stemming out, that school of thought, became the names in which under which the province or the name or the province and the name in which that school of thought existed. Like for example, Ajrana, Ustad Kale Khasa, also known as Khalifa, he was a descendant of Ustad Siddharth Khandari, and he uh, he had a different approach towards the teachings of Delhi. He had a different approach towards the Baya or the daily style, and he he created a new school of thought. And since Delhi had this thought running, he thought it would be better if, since Delhi had been an acceptance of the school of thought of Siddharth Kadari. So he he sort of shifting the province. He should sort of shifted, migrating to a different province for acceptance. Unfortunately, Ajrara became that province where he was accepted. And over generations, over 4 generations, his acceptance, that school of thought established into a gharana. And thus, Ajrar Gharana was formed. It is the same with the grandsons of uh, Siddhar Kadari, Ustad Modu Khasa, Ustad Makyu Khasa. During the period of Muhammad Charangile, when Nadir Ali had invested uh, uh, Delhi, Delhi was not suitable for for art to thrive. And that is why they had to shift. And they shifted to uh, Lucknow, which was where the musicality, well, their musicality was accepted. And the Nawab of that province patronized their art. And it is in that section, it is in that province, the school of thought of Ustad Modu Khan and Ustad Bakshu Khan Sahab thrived. And over generations, that school of thought established into a gharana, which we so love. And the name of the gharana was as a respect to the province that had accepted that school, that thought. The name of the gharana was that school of thought is named after the province that had accepted them. And thus, Lucknow Gharana was found. It is the same with all of the other Gharanas, like Punjab Gharana or the Farrukhabad Gharana. People of different school of thought, they migrated to the province, which accepted them, patronized them, and over generations, that school of thought became a Gharana. And that is how the shifting or the migration of from certain school of thought or the stemming out of certain school of thought and creating a new school of thought and being accepted and migrating to a different region or province was possible. And that is how different gharanas are formed. Even if this is the same concept that can be seen in vocal music like Gwalior, Agra, Kirana, all of these are provinces that has accepted a person's revolutionary thought. They patronized it, and over generations, this school of thought established into a gharana. So this is the concept of gharana. We will not dive into detailed description. These are just basic points for us to remember. So what we had discussed today, Gharana is a school of thought followed through generations. In order for a Gharana to establish, we need 4 generations, 4 successors following the tradition of the or the tradition or the school or the thought process of the revolutionist. It should be followed by 4 generations. Only then that Gharana will be established. When the case of Farrukhabad Gharana, this Gharana can expand through students, but the growth of the Gharana can only happen through descendants or direct bloodline. Okay? The name of the Gharana is it's derived from the province where that individual thought was accepted and patronized. So with this, we understand the concept of Gharana. Now, why is Gharana important? Gharana is important for preservation of individualities. Okay. It helps in grounding a person. It helps in preserving a tradition. And that is the reason why we require Gharana. If everyone plays the same, then what is the uniqueness? If everyone is going to play a same concept, the same thing, then how can you differentiate from one maestro to another maestro? If everyone is going to be the same, then everyone is the same. If you have, I'm gonna share this. I hope you guys have seen this movie called. There was this movie, some of some animals uh running out of escaping a zoo, a particular zoo, and I'm not gonna uh, name the title of the movie because I don't remember it. But then again, the concept was these people were so bored of staying in that certain zoo that they decided to escape it. They wanted to escape, and there was this zebra who wanted to be unique, who thought that who wanted a family, who wanted to be like the rest of the people. So they land uh, in a jungle in Africa, and over there he he does something, and a, a complete a herd of zebras see him. They so he get he the immediately he understands that, oh my god, I've got people like me as well. So that is very, so he gets excited, but then he does certain things, and uh all of the other zebras also do the same thing. So he said, if everyone is doing the same thing, then what is my uniqueness? That is the reason why Gharana, this is the concept. Individual uniqueness, individuality. And that is why gharanas are important. It preserves individuality. It preserves who you are. If everybody is going to play Dhatate, then how will you understand who's from whose Dhatate is, who created Dhatate, who's playing it or in the original stance? Similarly, if everybody is going to talk in English, if everyone's going to speak in English, then what will be the individuality of a different crowds? If everyone's speaking in one particular language, everyone is speaking in one language, then what is the individuality of that person? In India, we believe that respecting everyone's uniqueness is the way to live a harmonious life. We accept that the other one is different from us, and we love that person because he's different from us. And that is the reason why we can thrive, we can live harmoniously, because he's different from us. And we accept that. And that is actually the reason. This is the core principle of spirituality. Accept that the other person is indifferent to you, and accept him for his uniqueness, for his individuality. When we fall in love, we don't fall in love because the other person is exactly the same as I am. We fall in love because he's different. He or she is different. And we accept that difference. And that is how love is formed. And that is how we live harmoniously, accepting a person's individuality. It is the same with music. It is the same with Gharana. It is the same with every other walks of life. Accepting individuality and living harmoniously in that. In India, we believe our concept is uh, unity in diversity. This is our concept, unity in diversity. That means we are united as long as we accept each and every person is diverse, is unique in its own sense. And that is the basic motto of living a life, being harmonious with that. Accept everyone is different. And yet we can have a common ground and you can live peacefully. And that's how it is. And that is how music thrives. That is how everything in every that is helpful in every walk of life. Diversity, unity in diversity. So, with this, let's end episode number 52. I thank each and every one of you for joining with me. And also, those who wish to learn ghazal or tabla in the ancient art of British Parampara, not in the traditional method, but in the revised version that is coming every week or learning through online classes. If a person wishes to learn tabla or ghazal, then they may contact us. The details of our academy is mentioned at the end of the video. So with this, let's mark the end of episode number 52. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.